Hello everyone, my name is GarretOakamber, and this game is called Kings and Heroes. It is a MMO, RPG, dungeon crawler, loot whoring, sort of first-person dungeon slashing experience with, literally, it's like World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons, and Hellraid all had a baby, with like the graphics of Fable 2. And it's really fun, but it's very flawed. Here, in the beginning of the game, literally the second you start the game, it forces you to create a character, which is both good and bad. It's good for people who just want to jump into the action. It's bad because, as a technical standpoint, it doesn't allow you to tweak your options. In fact, most people can't even run this game, and it automatically sets everything to max settings. It goes ultra the second you try to start it, so if your computer isn't prepared, you will never play this game on that computer. But once you get through the character creation, you can actually, adjust settings and things like that. There are a lot of problems with this game. I am aware of that, and I will be talking more about those probably during the course of the video or afterwards in another video. I want to show you guys literally the uncut footage as it happened, but in this video I'm just going to show you when the game was working. Despite that, you have things like this that happen. I see the Chosen One! He's got, yeah, he's got like a Batman mask. Oh, he's floating. You're literally floating, Bane.
And it's slightly frozen right now.
This guy's like trying to fight me. There's no PvP, bro. I'm sorry.
You see me though, that's good.
Yeah, you're floating. You're magical. You're floating. There's this guy trying to fight me.
Fight me, bro! Fight me!
There's no PvP. Anyhow, let's give you the rub really quick. Despite that, let's just tell you what's going on here. Character creation is very much like Dungeons and Dragons, and in this case, you have different races and class combinations. On top of that, you roll your stats. Obviously, I chose a ranger. Rangers are very good at dexterity and intelligence. They got that wrong, however. In Dungeons and Dragons, rangers are constitution and dexterity, but whatever the case. Anyhow, the elf is a perfect candidate for this because the elf is dexterity and intelligence. Mostly intelligence over dexterity, but it doesn't matter. So I got pretty much a perfect roll on my stats. 18 dex, 18 int, and I got 13 wisdom, which isn't bad, whatever. 9 strength, which isn't bad. 6 constitution, which really hurt me, and 9 charisma. Now, Constitution, I really wanted to get a high Constitution, but I chose to go with the 18-18 because that's flawless with my core stats. And the Constitution really hurt me because I didn't get a lot of health, which normally, like I said, in Dungeons & Dragons, Rangers have a lot of health. They have a lot of resistances and blah, blah, blah. This is a video game, however, and doesn't necessarily translate the same way, and that's probably why they went for the intelligence over the Constitution for the Ranger class. On top of that, Rangers use magic. At least they don't necessarily use much magic right now, but they will eventually down the road. So for a video game, you're translating that kind of action into actual moving around and dicking with the enemies and using abilities and things like that. So I'm not trying to get hit by them, so I don't need the health, I don't need the resistances. In fact, I don't think resistances are covered by Constitution in this game. They don't appear to be. It doesn't matter who you make or what you make, your resistances start out at 0, so Constitution is less impactful, it seems, to this game, which is a bit of a little sad point. I guess if you want to make a tank character, then you really, really want to put points into it. However, this game is very buggy when it comes to combat in general, so whether or not you have more health than an enemy may not matter at all, considering they'll home in on you like a fly to shit. If I sound critical to the game, you need to understand it comes from a very personal place. I love this concept of a game. I really do. It's the only reason I got it. I literally had this on my wish list as a maybe for the longest time. When the game got released, I took a good long look at it, and I saw a lot of bad stuff, but I also saw what the game is supposed to be, underlying. And I know some people would argue you don't spend $30 on what should be, you spend $30 on what is. The game is not ready for sale, in my opinion. The start of the game was really horrible, and I've been having crashes and crashes and crashes. That's why this video is just character creation, and as you can see, I'm making a drow, because I'm making an evil character. Everyone was making good characters. I said, screw it, I'm gonna make an evil character, and I was really, like, trying to figure out which hairstyle I liked better. I like the pixie cut, but I also like this kind of fantasy pigtail thing, so I went for that. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy this. This is going to be quite entertaining. At least I would say entertaining, because it was a lot of fun to roam around when the game was actually working. This is how the game is supposed to work. This is how it's supposed to run. And they give you 2 dungeons, it appears, at the beginning of the game. Other dungeons seem to be locked out currently. This is supposed to be an early access game. I disagree. There's a glitch here. There's a guy just, hello there, sir. How are you doing? And he is doing nothing because he doesn't exist. And he's going to look at me and then vanish like that. This is not an early access game. This is a early beta or a late alpha, in my opinion. When you put a game on early access means that people are getting early access. They're getting their foot in the door. Here I kill an invisible enemy. That was funny. That happens a few times. Invisible enemies are meant to be invisible. Some people thought that was a glitch. It's not a glitch. They're supposed to be invisible. In fact, the ranger gets the ability to see these enemies later on. However, let's talk about what early access really is. Early access is a developer releasing their product early before a scheduled release. They are putting it out there, and it's a big risk, as we've seen in the past with a lot of games. They're putting it out there in a very finished form, but it's not beta or alpha. This game doesn't fall into the category of an early access. This game is not ready. In fact, there's no female orcs. Literally, that is how much is missing out of this game. There's no quests. The journal is useless. There's nothing you can really learn or do. As far as I'm aware, crafting doesn't even work. You can learn the skills, you can learn the engrams, but I hate to use that word. You can learn the recipes, but there's a lot missing from the game currently, and I'm not entirely sure why they decided early access was the way to go, because it clearly wasn't. The servers were not prepared. But despite that, when the game is working, as you can see, it's very playable. It's a pretty honest kind of dungeon romp. Surprisingly, the game isn't all about dungeons. In the hub world, which is, well, I should say the hub itself is the main city of Everdale, that is just a small town, the hub area that most people log into, and it causes egregious lag, but they should fix that. They should add new, spawn points. Other than that, there's an entire open world, and I wanted to explore more of that in my first video. In fact, I wanted the first video to be me and my friend roaming around, exploring the world. Unfortunately, there appears to be a terrible bug with the world where you travel too far and the game dies. It literally crashes the Unreal Engine. On top of that, it may also be that I chose to be a ranger. People have said that it only happens on the ranger. As to why this would even happen or how this makes sense, I'm unsure. Here I discovered how to block. I'd read up on blocking, and I was like, oh, is it really F? It really is F. The controls are a little strange. G is what you use to collect things. I think E would be a better option. Most people are used to E as activate, even though E is A, but use A to move, so that wouldn't make sense either. No, E is the activate, the universal activate, and spacebar is universal jump, which thank God they got. Z is to crouch, but crouching doesn't seem to do anything at all. In fact, I'm going to say it does nothing, because the enemies are aimbot enemies. They will automatically home in on you. They will not always hit. You can dodge projectiles. You can block certain projectiles. And some enemies are so stupid that they'll shoot their projectiles straight on the ground, such as the lizard shamans will cast fireballs at your feet, and they'll miss. So, I mean, the AI isn't the greatest, but when they hit you, it hits hard. And if you have a large group of people trying to take down a boss, that's where things get interesting. You can really see a lot of emphasis on teamwork and rewards for your risk, basically. So all the dungeons, I should mention, are completely 100% randomly generated from a set of pre-built sections. So every little hallway you see has a certain mapping associated with it, and every time you enter a dungeon, it procedurally generates it the second you activate the dungeon. This causes immense slowdown, as you saw when I first logged into the dungeon area. In fact, I've seen it fail completely on other people's videos, which is really unfortunate. Like, there'll be a doorway that opens up into the abyss, and it's not supposed to be an abyss. It's like, literally, you can see through the map. And then enemies won't function properly because the map isn't connected, and you literally have to leave. That is a problem. I think the biggest problem with this game, many of the issues it's had, is that it is online. If it wasn't forced to be online, it would be more of a finished product. I enjoy playing it single player. The only reason I'm playing it single player in this video, however, is because my friend ultimately could not log in. The farthest he got was his character appearing in midair, as you saw at the beginning of the video, and that was it. The game kept crashing for him. He could not play it. And it isn't so much that the game can't be run by him. This isn't a matter of this game being too graphically intense, because it's really not. It's an Unreal game, but it's not that graphically intensive. I'm having some lighting issues, and there's something just not communicating properly with my GTX 980 Ti. It could be a driver, but it's most likely the game is just not optimized. So, ultimately, for people like my friend Bane, what is keeping him from playing the game? Something with the game code is just not appropriate. Or his internet is just crap. I don't know. But there are a lot of people saying the same thing as Bane. Can't get in the game. Bought the game. Can't get in the game. Created my character. Can't get in the game. That's it. Is it a matter of the graphics settings are too high to begin with? This could be. It's not optimized. It's not optimized, so they jump in the game and they're like, okay, I can't run this. I can't run this. I have a mosquito bite. Oh, that sucks. But yeah, that oh, just fucking appears out of nothing in rainbows. That was scary. But yeah, essentially, it's not optimized. So, first of all, it's a long breath of sadness that I have to say. The game is released. They didn't test the servers. They didn't get people to do a beta test. This game is beta or late alpha at best. And what ends up happening is we're not prepared for this kind of load. Everyone wants to play this game that's interested in Dungeons & Dragons and that old kind of dungeon romp or Hexen feel, and they can't. And I just found a secret on accident here, and a bunch of shit comes out and tries to kill me. It's pretty cool. I like that. So, I mean, yeah, they get in, and it's not optimized. The game is running on Ultra for people who can't run it on Ultra. I'm running it on Ultra. And let me say, if this is Ultra, it's not that impressive. It's not so demanding. It really isn't. But it's because of all the other underlying bugs with the current build, with the like, release date of the game, that are causing the Ultra mode to crap on people's computers. By the way, I should mention this was the first dungeon I ever did, the first time I ever fought enemies. So it was the first time I actually got to feel the combat, but I did pretty well. I am going to meet some opposition towards the end. I've since played a few matches off camera and had a really good time with it. In the future episodes, because I want to do more episodes of this is a really good game, despite these problems. Again, I'm gonna tell you the yin and yang of it. The good portion is, it is the kind of game I've been waiting for. When Hellraid was announced, I wanted that so bad. I wanted to explore that world and dungeon romp and all that shit. Hellraid got delayed, and is still delayed, if not completely cancelled. This game fills that niche. On top of that, this game also just has... It has a lot of potential for role-playing and MMO. In fact, it may even kill World of Warcraft if the bugs are fixed. Why is that? It has everything WoW has, only it's first person. It's more personal. There's VoIP. You can talk to people. You can hear them talking. Many times you'll hear people role-playing the shit out of this game in the tavern. I had a dwarf bump past me. He's like, "Excuse me, Missy." He went to go to the bar to get a drink that he can't possibly get. Here I'm trying my luck at the Blades of Death that everyone seems to die at, and I succeed because I'm awesome. However, the hit detection is completely freaking off. I will complain about that again. When I'm having this criticism, don't take it as the game is bad. The game isn't bad. The game is flawed. And because they failed to test it out, because they failed to get it through the proper channels, the proper alpha, beta, release, that is why it's having a rough time. Anyone else can tell you this who's been playing it and has an honest opinion about it. A few of the people I was watching playing the game, not all of them actually knew how to play games. There was one guy among them, Rich, who actually knew how to play an RPG. He was pretty intelligent about it, and I had a good time watching his video. But there are a lot of people who didn't really play many games. You could tell they didn't, and they were reviewing the game, and they were saying, "Oh, the game is terrible," or "The game is so great, it's unbelievable." Oh, and they're getting like 1 frame per second. You can't say that fairly. Yes, the frame rate tanks in the town, but when you get out of the town or you go into the dungeon, it's fine. As you can see here, I'm getting a full 60, and the only time I ever get, under that is the dungeon is generating something in the background that I don't think it should be generating, because it should have generated it to begin with, or, there's a lot of shit on screen, and any game can have that issue. It's just, this game is very early, and they're planning on getting rid of that. They're planning on fixing that. They're making the game better as it goes along, which is good. They've been adding tons of patches, and that's what I want to see in a company, especially people who are that interested in dungeon crawling and RPG mechanics. I love that it's a first-person dungeon crawler loot game. It's like if Diablo... Well, I can't use Diablo as an example. I can't. It has some Diablo-esque sort of feelings to it, but it's more like WoW. It is literally more like WoW, but it is almost exactly like Hellraid if Hellraid had WoW's interface, if that makes any sense. Here I find a vase that I can't destroy, so from here on out I learned that this area here is just for decoration. I can't do anything with it. But these I can destroy, and you can find loot in those, as I found right there. I found some loot, and it's not all that bad. So this is a great game, but it is also an immensely flawed game. My rating of the game will definitely change over time. I can't say it will go downhill unless they do something stupid, like force you to pay a subscription or whatever. If they start changing the way... No, the game doesn't need a subscription. The game is free after you buy it. It is... You go onto their servers, that's fine. If they add microtransactions, that won't be bad, just don't do it now. Definitely don't do it now. I would not pay you a cent after what I paid, because the game needs some work. It needs some tender love, I don't know, maybe some downloadable content, DLC that's really cool down the road. I want to see, me personally, I want to see Death Knight or Necromancer class. I want to see new races. Skeletons, for example. I would love to play as a skeleton. Some people might want to play as lizardmen. I mentioned something about lizardmen to the devs. Don't think they ever saw it. I didn't know there were lizardmen in the game. I get into the caves and bam, there's lizardmen. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Thank you for that. You thought about fantasy. And this is high fantasy. This is a lot of, different races living in your common sort of world. It is kind of funny that the orcs and the goblins, it doesn't matter that your orcs are goblins with humans and dwarves and elves. Maybe they have their own relation sort of diplomacies or whatever, but the game doesn't really talk about its own lore, which is both a blessing and a curse, because people want to know about this world. And there's really no information. There is no information on it, actually. There's really nothing. It's just a bunch of characters running around, killing each other. See, who are these guys? These cultists? Are they good? Are they evil? I mean, my character's evil, so I'm curious what their whole thing is about. Why are the lizard men live in the caves with the dwarves, the deep dwarves? Like, that's an interesting mixture there. So, this game definitely has a lot of stuff that's going really good for it. When the game is playable, I'm having a blast going into dungeons. I look forward to going in and just killing shit, and honestly, this wasn't the selling point. As I've said before, the dungeon was not a selling point for me. The selling point of this game was the open world on top of it all. They're saying, oh, the dungeon is easy to queue for, and a dungeon is created each time you do it. You can group up with 7 or 8 people or something crazy like that. I can't remember exactly. And I'm having a blast playing it alone. Having a great time. And it's just really, really fun. The looting system needs to be improved upon. Loot should be shared. Well, not shared. Maybe it is shared. I don't know. What's the term for loot drops for everyone, but it's different? There's already a trading system implemented. Apparently can't trade while you're in a dungeon with people. I don't know exactly. I haven't been in a group with other people because other people ruin the game for me, unless they're my friends. But there is a trading system, from what I understand. And you can basically just get loot and say, hey guys, I found something. Would you like it? You know? That would be nice, I guess. They should improve the grouping, because I'm pretty sure there aren't 2 servers of the entire game. If there is, this game is definitely not ready. But it gives you the option at the start of the game, US or Europe. And that's it. Now, the problem isn't that it's US and Europe servers, is that it doesn't tell you the individual servers that you're joining onto. If they want to make this always-on kind of, you know, this world that they're always managing, okay, I understand. I don't necessarily like that, but whatever. I'll deal with it because the game's fun. But you need to, I don't know, tell us which server we're getting on, or at least make it so that we can invite our friends. That makes it hard to group with friends. Right now it's easy, because not many people are playing the game, probably because of the scary reviews you're hearing. And I'm not going to lie, there are a lot of problems with this game, but it's enjoyable. I mean, again, from a gameplay standpoint, the characters handle fun and easy, and there's all this shit going on, and there's a lot of excitement to be had. Unfortunately, the AI shits itself. In fact, watch this boss battle. This is a mini-boss, or maybe the big boss of the map. I don't know. I didn't get a cutscene. I was a little bit confused. He is going to literally devour me. So I shoot him. Rushes across the room faster than I can run away. I've since actually gotten more... Yeah, see, he's on my ass. And as a level 1, there's nothing I can do. And he kills me, and I'm dead. I didn't even stand a chance. Didn't get a chance to put down my trap. I didn't get a chance to run. And I am rewarded by going straight to hell. That I do like. Despite the AI being a little bit off, going to hell instead of going to the heavenly area was really cool. My choice of making my character chaotic evil actually did something. And I was a little bit surprised at that. I enjoyed that. I want to see more of those choices and those changes. Why can't I be that? See that character? Clearly you can equip, you know, skeletons with armor. I want to be a fucking Reaper. Give me that race, please. Give me a Necromancer or Death Knight class, please. That would be awesome, but that's up to the game developers to decide what they want to do with that. Now, I don't want to go on too long. This video has already gone on for 23 minutes, and I'm going to be doing more videos on it, including my next video will most likely be the uncut, hey guys, this is what happened when I first logged into the game, and it was a little bit shitty, to say the least. Ultimately, what I want to leave you with is my truest impression of this game is that it is enjoyable. But please, developers, you gotta listen to the fans. You gotta think for a moment. You got a great thing here. You've set something up, but the way you've released it is putting it, you know, it's leaning over a precipice, and it needs to be cared for. You need to be careful with it, because this is something I have wanted for a long time, and you've created that kind of game. So be cautious with it. Love it. Fix some AI, you know, maybe, you know, fix the world, get the lighting fixed, get the lag, add other spawn zones, add other hub cities. Let us choose our city. There's tons of cities in the game, I'm sure of it. The map is huge, and you will get to see more of that in my next few videos, hopefully. Anyhow, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. My voice is so stretched. I was screaming so much today. It's a really interesting game. If you, again, I'm going to refer to what I always say. If you believe in a game, do not feel ashamed about supporting it. You are not a sucker. You are not wasting your money. Only if you think you are. If you believe in a project, you fund it. If you don't fund it, if you don't support something, that's your choice, but that's going to affect how that something grows or dies out. And I believe in this game, and that is the only reason I bought it. If you like Dungeons & Dragons, I think you should really take a look at this. At least, you don't have to buy it, just look at it and wait for it to get a lot of the main bugs, you know, just a lot of the issues gone and done with, and then you'll have yourself a game that you really enjoy. Thank you all so much for watching. Comment, you know, in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this game, because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it, and I'm gonna be, you know, continuing to say what is wrong with it, but because I love it. Thank you for watching.